All right, here we go. Woohoo! So excited to talk about this adventure, share our Nepal lifestyle oh my God, I'm totally tongue-tied. Leadership lifestyle expedition coming up in November. I'm Georgie, and this is my partner in crime for this adventure, Lieven. So we thought we would come together today to give you guys a little idea of who we are, why we're doing this, and what this adventure is going to look like, and see if you might want to join us in on this, what we believe is going to be a life-changing experience. So maybe let's start with you telling people a little bit about who you are.
All right, great. If it's okay, I'll take over your screen and I'll share enabled attendee screen sharing. Okay. So you still have to enable that I can share, that I can take over the screen. But anyway, I will already start with saying a little bit about myself. So, and it's quite interesting because a couple of is it okay, Georgie?
Yeah, go. I'm going to make you a host. There you go. Yes. All right. Now you can screen share.
You are the host now. Great. Yeah. Wow, that was. You can see my screen now.
Your screen. Facebook can see your screen. Hello to all of our Facebook watchers. Welcome to our adventure.
Great, great, great. Yeah, so a little bit about myself. I prepared a small presentation with the content and the things that we're going to do in Nepal and the things we've been figuring out the last couple of weeks and already months actually, that we're talking about this venture. So it's really excited about getting this live. But yeah, a little bit about myself. So I'm from Belgium. 35 years old. I have one son of 5 years old now, who is still home, not able to go to school again. Schools are still closed in Belgium. Looking forward to next week because then they're opening again. And yeah, actually all my life I've been very interested in exploring the boundaries, physical and mental boundaries of my own life. And this has taken me to many places in the world, like in the Sahara, in the jungle, where I ran these crazy ultra marathons of over 200 kilometers, trying to look for some kind of meaning, some kind of treasure at the end, at the finish line, but which was of course never there. And this kept on going. I kept on exploring, and at one point in my life, okay, there was this divorce. And this was really a big shift for me because this divorce has led me from all my external challenges. It's led me to look for internal answers on why I was doing all this kind of stuff. So, and it's now since these 3-4 years that I really started to walk this path of personal growth, that I made actually a complete shift in my career, because I have a background mechanical engineer. I worked in corporate world for a long time as a manager. I finished an MBA. I was always thinking about, okay, what's the next step in my career? And then, yeah, suddenly this divorce and this shift to personal growth, and last years more and more, I explored all the boundaries within myself, let's say, to see, okay, what is needed, or how can I become the best version of myself, and what are the tools that I can use for that. And I started discovering a lot of different tools, like the power of breath work, just by breathing, how can you change your life and your well-being. I became a Wim Hof instructor, where you use breath work and cold exposure like ice baths to learn more about yourself, but also to heal yourself in certain ways and to regain the control over your life. I became a firewalk instructor. All these tools of nature I started to apply in my own life, and I started helping also other people, other business leaders in integrating these methods, in changing their lifestyle to become the best version of themselves. So that's now what I'm doing, and that's now also with this Nepal expedition what we are going to do with 10 crazy people who want to join us.
So true. And I think we have so many similarities, in that way of, wanting to, for me too, it's been about, all about getting into personal development and personal growth, more so from the beginning, just to see how I can learn more about myself to be the best version of me, and what are the things that, why am I doing the things that I'm doing, and how can I show up in the way that I want to show up. And I have two children, which are a little bit older than yours. Mine are 20, 21 and 23. And I can remember when they were, just little, the most important thing to me was how do I raise really great human beings? And I know that started with, I need to look at myself to make sure that I'm a good role model for them. And then through osmosis, I think they've sort of started taking these things on. And then it was probably, I think, 2013, where I was kind of at that point where I was like, man, am I really walking my talk? I was kind of like you, searching for something, where is the real meaning in my life? Is this really all there is? Which is when I went to Nepal for the first time. And it was such a life-changing trip for me. And just in being in that space of really being. And I think the power of being in such a magical place, being in nature, really getting still, being present, and really gave me that space to sort of, dive deep inward and go, okay, there's something magical here. And I think from that moment, I've really wanted to take people there to have that experience, to be able to discover, what is it that you really want to do, and how do we help people do that? So this personal growth journey has been, it feels like it's been a really long time, and I think it'll be forever. And I find it interesting how when we kind of go through heartbreak, which was also the same for me, where we really dive in and go, okay, this is the moment, it's kind of that when you're in that pain and suffering, and it's like, okay, this is where I'm really going inside. I'm really looking for clues about me, because I think that's really where the answers lie. It's not in these sort of external things that we look for, but we truly could be happy right now. And the more we're able to figure out who we are, how we work, what our patterns are, and shift those things, we can find more happiness. And I was super excited to find you, because I had started doing breath work and started, I've always been a fan of being outside, and nature's kind of been my happy place. But exploring, what are kind of the limits within ourselves, and how do we push those limits, and how do we tap into sort of this rhythm of nature? Because I do believe in kind of this holistic system. So it's kind of this, it's so interesting how life works with all this. So I'm super excited to be on this journey with you.
Me too. And and it also, the time is now for people, I think, in this, there's this shift in awareness going on. Like you said, a shift from external to internal. A lot of people are now forced to make this shift, and are now looking for these answers and rediscovering a part of themselves, not only of themselves, also of their business. They have to reinvent stuff because things had to change very, very quickly. So I think, we found also the right moment in time to do this expedition to Nepal, to this beautiful place in the world where we can find still this solitude and this stillness, but also the conditions to go to uncomfortable places, both internally and externally, because it's through those, through that discomfort that we achieve in the end growth. So
Yes, so true. So take us on an adventure.
So I made this small presentation, Lead in Life and Business. That's what it's all about, to take people on an unforgettable journey, 10 days in the mountains of Nepal with experienced person from Nepal, tour guide, who's helping us to make this happen. And we will go into nature, and we will go on a trip where we will come back later on a little bit more of the details, but where it's not only about rediscovering ourselves, but also about, okay, when I found this place within myself where it starts, how can I further explore, and what are the tools that I can apply not only during this trip, but also in my life, to keep on exploring, to keep on growing. And because it doesn't end with going 10 days to Nepal, or your life will maybe transform and change, but still afterwards you have to implement it and integrate it in your normal life. So during this trip, we will for sure hand a lot of tools and tricks to apply just in your daily regular life that will help you to get the balance out of it, to optimize your life, not to to perform better, but not only to perform the best. It's about having the best balance for you, with what works for you. So all those things we will dive into during that trip. Yeah, we've been thinking or talking also a lot about, okay, for who is this trip now, and who do we want to take on this trip to Nepal. And I think also there we found a match on who we want to inspire, because you're working at Georgie with business leaders and CEOs in your daily life with your coaching. Because I didn't talk yet about what I do now for a living, but I have a company built for endurance where I help people to connect again with their true nature and to rediscover their purpose, and help them to become this best version of themselves using all those tools from nature. And this business is also oriented towards like entrepreneurs, CEOs, because I'm also looking to have the maximum impact, most impact possible. And when you reach CEOs and entrepreneurs, again, they reach a lot of people and they influence a lot of people with their businesses. So I think also in that matter that we found ourselves like, okay, let's just take 10 CEOs and entrepreneurs with us. Because we know, if we get them on the right spots, then afterwards they will again impact a lot of lives.
It's so true. Right? It's the ripple effect, right? And I think that's, we can share this information with 10 people, but then the number of people that they will be able to reach and touch and impact is, really, it's amazing when you start to think about that. So it's very exciting, very exciting.
Yeah. So of course the program is not yet, and we're still working on it. It's a work in progress, and it's also not that we will have like a detailed program, like from this hour until this hour you're doing that, and then from that hour until that hour you're going to do this. No, it will be quite also flexible, because when you're working with people, you know it also better than me. When you work with people, you go into processes with people. It's not that you can use these rigid structures and formats. So we have to take the pace of the group. But of course, we want to insert a lot of things for them, and we want to hand them a lot of stuff during that week, during those 10 days. And this slide gives like a rough overview of what we are going to integrate, and a lot of things we have said already. Yeah, it's about purpose, about being in the right environment, with the right people, with the right tools, with the right energy, to go within and to find answers, not by going through the logical, rational brain like we're used to in our daily lives, but by using very experiential oriented exercises like breath work. With breath work, we can really tap into our unconscious patterns. We can learn things about ourselves which we cannot learn by just rational thinking. We will discover parts about our emotional and mental selves through very intense exercises. Things not just by watching a PowerPoint like now that we can explain. So it's really about experiencing stuff, and not just by having boring presentations. Of course, the whole 10 days. There will be a lot of workshops or interactions, small groups, people, talking about their own personal experiences, about exchanging purpose, discovering together the purpose of each other, and being a mirror for each other. I think it's also very important to know that there will be a safe environment to share a lot and to learn a lot. So this purpose thing is for me an important part to have in this journey, because that's where it all starts. And yeah, then you have like all those biohacking stuff, like, okay, but we are here, we're on this place, how can we now become the best version of ourselves? And we are going to learn about habits, how we can change our daily patterns so that we can work towards our goals. How can I integrate certain kind of morning habits to rise and shine and be the best version during the whole day? What should I do in the evening to have a good rest, to sleep well, to integrate all the lessons from that day? So there will be a lot about optimization during the day and behavioral change. And of course, in Nepal, it's also the right environment to talk about peak performance, because we're going to walk, we're going to hike, we're going to hike through the mountains. We will also be sharing some stuff about how can I now tap into flow states, and that's already very technical, and this is just the first introduction webinar, but we're going to do more webinars where we go a little bit deeper already in some topics of the trip. But flow states is something very interesting, because it's about how our brain functions and what we can do to get our brain waves in a certain state where we achieve maximum performance throughout the day. It's those moments where you feel that you're in a flow and time is just passing by and you're getting things done, and it's not something which just happens on occasion. It's something that you really can tap into when you know how it works. So also those things about maximum performance, it's something that we will talk about. And of course, being outside, being in nature, connecting with nature, connecting with each other, that will be, yeah, a big part of our journey. And I think also something that people need when being isolated for such a long period of time.
Yeah, I think, like I say, I think the timing for this is so perfect, because it does give, getting out of your current environment, I think is always a good thing, especially when you're wanting to go inside and learn new things about yourself, and then being with a group of people who are kind of there for the same reason. And I'm a big, obviously big fan of purpose, and finding your purpose and knowing what that is, and letting that kind of be your guiding lighthouse for everything you do. And then learning these super cool things that you're going to be sharing with people that we can then, like say, take back into your real world and integrate those, because that's really, where that long-term transformation is going to happen, when we're able to really integrate this stuff, which we will talk more about that and how we can help you. We promise not to abandon you after 10 days. And it's going to be, that 10 days in a different environment in, I believe, one of the most beautiful settings in the world that I've been to so far, is really going to support that. Yeah,
indeed. And yeah, of course, there will also be moments for one-to-one coaching, for one-to-one conversations. And one of the most important things I forgot, cold exposure, being it will be cold, and it's the perfect environment to go outside and to have a dip in ice cold water, because ice cold water can help us in seeing so many things about ourselves. And yeah, it's a very powerful tool that I would love to use in Nepal.
Looking forward to it. So if you guys are thinking, I haven't done that and I can't do that, you know what? I'm in the same boat. So we're all going to be just fine. It's going to be a great experience together.
Yeah, indeed. It's really something for everyone, because some people might say, oh, this hiking in the mountains, it's not like, it's okay. The trip of the hike is like 4 days, I think. It's not the most difficult hike in the world. It's like something that everyone with the basic level of fitness can do. But also even those cold exposure exercises, it's something, the more you open yourself up, and it's something that will be a big part of this journey, the more you open yourself up, the more easy it will be to get into the cold and to feel this power again, and feel that you're in control of yourself, of your body and your life. So the more we fight and the more we resist, the more difficult it will be. So we will get into uncomfortable places, but if we just open up, then a lot of beautiful things will happen.
Excellent.
So this is actually a short overview of all the different days that we're going to be in Nepal, and we're just going to run shortly through it because the program is still evolving, maturing, and will mature over time. But the first day we will arrive in Kathmandu, so everyone will need to fly to Kathmandu, and they will be picked up over there at the airport, and they will be brought to the first hotel where we will just stay for one night. We don't want to stay in the busy city of Kathmandu for a long time, but just for practical reasons, we are going to stay there for one night, and then the next day, on the second day, early morning, we leave more towards the countryside where it is still. We have found a beautiful location, a beautiful setting to experience those first couple of days together, because the second, the third, and the fourth day we will be in this same place where we of course will be hiking around the place, where we are going to do different workshops, but where the main purpose will be about connecting again, getting in the right space in our heads, learning the first tools, how to apply them, really get that bonding going on between everyone. And then the fifth day we start the hike, and it will be a really beautiful hike because it's quite sacred. It's like this sacred hike to a lake where a lot of rituals are taking place. Rituals, how you call it, like reiniging, where they cleansing, or the cleansing rituals. So this hike will start on the fifth day, and also day 6, day 7 we are going up towards this lake, where on the 7th day we arrive in this place called Gosai Kunda Lake, where we're going to have a final experience of the cold, and where we let's say get to our destination in the mountains, not the destination of where we want to be, but the destination in the mountains. And also during those hikes we're going to talk and do experiences about our fears, about what are our limiting beliefs when we go through those mountains, but also through those challenges in our lives and in our business. We are going to think about what is gratitude and how important is gratitude in our lives, and what can we do with it. Forgiveness. There will be certain themes that we will use and apply during the day, where we will have conversations about, dialogues, and that we get some better or maybe other understandings of all those values which we should have as a leader, and how it can help us to be a more conscious leader also in life and business. Then on the 8th day we go down again, we go back, and then it will be a full day hike going back down to the valley. And then afterwards we have one full day of integration back in the same place where it started, Nuwakot. And there we can think about our goals, about how we're going to integrate all those things in our daily lives, how we are going to achieve those goals, that we get stuff practical, that we give ourselves the last energy shot. And then the next day, the 10th day, around noon probably, we will drive back to Kathmandu, where everyone is free. But I even still think that over there that we have like maybe one night together in the hotel, depending on when people leave. But last day we will end again in Kathmandu.
It's very cool. It's going to be very fun and exciting, and I think you'll, with the things that we're going to do during those 10 days too, you will go back having skills and tools to be a better leader and share those things with your team and your families, and in your the whole part of your life. It's going to be, you'll find benefit from this for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Um, yeah, that leaves us to a couple of practical stuff. This first webinar now, just to get some basics set. Of course, the next weeks we are going to gradually launch more information, more details about the program and about what to expect. But it will be for sure end of November. As far as it looks right now, we will be able to fly. We're also quite positive that we will be able to fly because the borders of the countries are opening up again now. Of course, when things change, then we will be flexible in the people who have registered already. Maximum 10 people. It will be a small group so that we really can have a good connection with everyone. Until the end of June, there will be an early bird fee, so $5,000 instead of the normal rate of $6,500. So people who enter early, they can benefit a lot in terms of value, because there will be a lot of value exchange going on during those 10 days. We will also be having a couple of surprises for the early birds, but there we will give some information after the webinar and gradually expose it on social media, because we're still working out a couple of nice things where people with an early bird can make advantage of. So it's still a little bit a small secret which we are still working out. And yeah, included in the trip is actually everything. Once you arrive in Kathmandu and you leave in Kathmandu, everything is included. All the workshops, of course, all the foods, every day, all the meals, all the drinks, all the accommodations, all the transfers with the bus from the airport to the hotel, to all the different places where we go. The hiking with the mountain guides. We will also be having, of course, yoga mats, some practical equipment to do some of those exercises. The only thing that you guys have to arrange is actually your flights to Nepal, your hiking gear and all your luggage, and of course something insurance wise, personal assistance insurance, or whatever you think is necessary for you. That's of course up to you to decide. Yeah, I think this is the basic information.
Basic practicalities. Yep.
I don't know if you want to add anything, Georgie, to this.
No, I think, you know, we've done our best to add, to make sure that once you get there, everything's included, so you don't have to worry about anything. And it's, like I say, we're continually thinking about what are more things that we can continue to add so that this is a super value-based trip for you. Yeah, no, it looks great.
Yeah, for sure. And there will be a lot of things set up already before. We will be giving you some exercises to start with, practical exercises like some breathwork exercises to, if you want to already start applying or start testing with cold showers, for example, something which you can already start doing. So gradually, already before the trip, we will give information and give stuff to start working with. We will open up a private group, so that everyone can start sharing information about the trip, some also where we can ask practical questions to each other. So yeah, that's step by step that we will start doing those things.
Exactly.
Yeah, actually, for now, that's it for me.
Perfect. Yeah,
I'm really excited. I'm really excited.
Me too. You know, I think this is going to be such a great experience, a great adventure, a great opportunity to get out of the, you know, I know now, like, we've been in isolation for a long time, and then we'll go back to kind of our regular lives. So I think this is going to be such a great space to be able to take a little time for getting in touch with who you are and who you want to be, the leader that you want to show up as, maybe the experiences you want to have with other people. What kind of things do you want to share? I know I've heard a lot from people who kind of been, when we've been in isolation, that they're kind of taking a look at their life and going, oh, what is really important to me? What does really matter? You know, and I think this trip is going to be an opportunity to really explore those things a little bit deeper and realize that, oh, I can do those things. And we're going to provide you with, you know, different tools and exercises that you can actually use to sort of stay on that path and start to align with the leader you really want to become, which then is only going to spread into, let's say, your teams, your families, the people you work with, anyone really that you have the opportunity to impact.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a great adventure because it's beautiful over there. You know, there's just something magical about being in a country that it's not as developed. So you've got these incredible mountains, and we're going to this sacred lake that is really a special place over there. And because of the time of year we're going, there won't really be very many people there. It's kind of like our own little private sacred sanctuary, which I think is also really amazing. And we have incredible guides who I trust completely, who will be taking care of us over there. Beautiful spots that we'll be staying in. So many great experiences that people will be able to partake in.
Yeah, I'm also looking. We said it already a couple of times. This is the ideal time for being on such a trip and for participating, because now we are in this open momentum where everything can happen, and I'm so looking forward to take 10 people over there and to just go on a journey together, because also for me, every time I do this kind of inner expeditions, as I like to call it, it's also for me a personal journey and discovering of a lot of facets in my life. So it's really it will be fun.
It will be really so fun. So fun. So we are going to continue to do webinars every Wednesday, where we will be sharing more things about the trip. We'll be sharing, as Lieven mentioned, we'll be doing some breathwork stuff, sharing some kind of different things that you can expect to experience when we are all together, just to let you get to know us a little bit better, some of the things that will be happening. We are, like you say, still in the process of kind of putting some stuff together, because we do want to keep this as a loose agenda, because this really is about having an experience and not this super rigid scheduled, you know, every minute of your day is booked. That's not what this is about. So we hope that you will continue to join us. You will be able to obviously watch the recordings and the replays and all of those kinds of things. And then the sooner you do decide to come on the trip with us, we will have this private group where we'll be sharing even more things to help you get prepared for the trip, so that you don't, I know for me, when I first did an expedition like this, I kind of got it after I committed, and I was a little bit, and I was like, oh my God, can I actually do this? What was I thinking? I might be crazy. And so you can, and we want to do our best to support you up until the time that we leave. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to us, LinkedIn, email, Facebook. We'll put some contact details, or join us next Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central European Standard Time, right? We've been doing this for months, and we're eventually sort of getting the time zone thing down. So so thanks I see we have quite a few Facebook watchers, so thank you for joining us on Facebook. And I think that's it for today.
Indeed, that's it. And looking forward to all the next sessions and all the the nice things that we're going to put together. So let's get this thing started.
Sounds good. All right, so we will see you guys next week.
Yeah, okay. Until next week.
Bye. You've got the control, so you have to stop recording and stop the Facebook Live.
Pretty cool. Ah, yeah, here it is.